Alrighty. Keep that down just a smidge. Welcome, everyone, to the 2025 Lone Wolf Matchup Cast. Uh, it's been a year since we did one of these, as always. We've got three people with me currently. We might have a fourth joining us later, but I've got Devlin, uh, David, and Tim all joining me to go through this survey, poke fun at people, and start going down the list. One thing I wanted to check real quick is just making sure that everything sounds good. If someone give me a check in the comments, but not going to slow us down. Just going to get straight up into the matchups. Whoa, that's the wrong one. Something had to go wrong. There we go.
Already fell.
Yep. All right. So starting us off with table one, we have 24 tables. I think after we had some late minute joins and one drop. So going to be a shorter cast than normal for Lone Wolf, but that just means we'll get through it quicker. Table one, we have Jeff Grajeda versus Nick Michelonis. Jeff Grajeda running Riftforge Orcs, Nick running Abyssal Dwarves. The opinion of the crowd was pretty staunchly in favor of Nick Michelonis. Travis, if you'd like to read Jeff's lists, and Devlin, if you'd like to read Nick's list. Did I get that backwards? Travis, Jeff, Devlin, Nick. Yes, there we go.
Yep.
To get us started.
Jeff's got 3 troops of more axes, a horde of Hellstrikers with the boots of striding, fight wagons, legion with the blood of the old kings, a war drum, storm giant with the cleaver, Stormforge shrine, Thonar, a stormbringer, a gore chariot with the trickster's wand, storm breath and hex. And then the formation, so 2 regiments of legionnaires and the reborn legionnaires with the sacred horn.
All right, and Nick Michelonis is running Abyssal Dwarves. He's got a horde of Black Souls with Fiery Bulwark, Throwing Mastiff, and Brute Strength, so jacking them up. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 Immortal Guard regiments, all Infernal Wardens, which gives them Crush 1 and Throwing Mastiffs. He's got a horde of Decimators with Staying Stone. A regiment of Decimators, my bad, with Staying Stone. 2 troops of Gargoyles. 3 Anchor Heavy Mortars. Haven't seen those in a hot minute. Ironcaster with Mind Fog, Wither and Perish, also interesting, and Conjure Staff. 2 Hexcasters, one with Inspiring, one with Edge Periscope, both of them Hex Weakness. And then an Overmaster on Ancient Winged Halfbreed. Rounds out at 26 unit strength and 15 drops. I am assuming based on the shooting, he's taking the Ranger. I have that window open.
Gotcha. So lots of shooting from the dwarves, lots of orcs from the orcs. David, what does Jeff here need to do to overcome Nick Michelonis?
Go fast, punch hard, as orcs do.
This is always good advice for orcs.
I hope they're painted red.
Hope they're painted red. For Riftforge.
Yeah. Or just red go fast.
This is true. All right. Pretty decisive outcome on table 1. All right. For table 2, we have Jordan Braun with Twilight Kin versus Scott Akala, also with Twilight Kin. It's a Twilight Kin fest. Everyone enjoys Dark Elves killing each other. Odds are pretty weighted in Jordan's favor. David, are you able to read lists? Let me check that real quick.
Yeah, I've got it. You want me to read Jordan's?
If you want to read Jordan's, and then I will make Tim do Scott's.
All right. So I've got Jordan has the Void Touch Mutants with the Brew of Strength, a regiment of them. Bound Phantoms Regiment with the Helm of the Drunken Ram. Those are tough. He has one regiment of Void Wranglers with the fire oil. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other regiments. All of them with the Unleashed Tormentors. That's a lot of regiments. A Bound Terror, the Summoner Crone with Bane Chant and Enthrall, and then another Summoner Crone with the Amulet of Fireheart, Enthrall, and Alchemist Curse. Blackheart, and then the Impaler's Soulbane with the Blade of the Beast Lair.
All right, Scott's taken 2 troops of Phantoms, 2 regiments of Void Wranglers, 1 with Fire Oil, both with the Tormentors upgrade, 3 hordes of Butchers, a regiment of Soul Flayers with the boots, Mind Screech being a planar version, Void Captain with Celestial War, Gnome Glass Shield, Summoner Crone with Conjurer's Staff, so Hex and Weakness, and Lathiel, Navigator and Void Skiff with the Sacred Horn, and Deck Snipers, and then the formation. So 2 troops of Fleet Wardens, both with Blood Hex and Celestial War, and the Regiment of Impalers. He is taking the Ranger.
Gotcha. 2 very different Twilight Kin lists. Devlin, what does Scott have to do to defeat Jordan Braun's trolling on the table?
Be very nice. No, Scott does have some meat. He's going to have to heavily rely on the Aura Stealthy from Lathiel to keep him kind of upright. I'm trying to look. So it's what Void Touch is the ones that get Spell Ward. So there's a few things that can kind of benefit from Spell Ward, but he's still going to be. He's got to watch out for the push and pull because he's got a ton of Enthrall, a ton of Wind Blast. So if he can kind of play his ranges around and just make sure he kind of overwhelms them in one turn, he might be able to get in. Granted, we all know Jordan's a really good player, so it's going to be an uphill battle, but it's put the beef out front, pick the right time to strike when you're kind of avoiding those push-pull ranges, and then hope for the best.
Seems fair. Curious to see if 3 extra inches is all it takes. That's what she said. All right. Shifting down to table 3, we've got David Sweat versus Rogan Hoy. First things first, let me clear out some of these old lists. Nobody look at all my tabs. Table 3, we've got a slight, ever so slightly, this is going to be like a couple extra votes. 14 to 17 on votes. So very close matchup is what people are saying. David, I will have you read your list off if you want, and then give Devlin Rogan.
After you.
All right. Well, I'm bringing the Ranger. I'm bringing a horde of hunters with Brew of Haste, 2 regiments of boomers, 2 regiments of warriors, 1 horde of warriors with Sanguinary Script, and a horde of warriors with Aegis of the Lohi. I have the horde of Braves with the Helm of the Drunken Ram, Mammoth with the Big Deal, as you do. Brought the Sergeant with the Paymaster and a Boomstick because I decided to go very lightning heavy this list. I have 3 Warlocks of Sorry, hang on.
All good. Three warlocks, all with the lightning bolt as you do. Dave, whenever you've got that, feel free to jump back in. And Namagarok, also like you do, coming out to 14 units and 26 unit strength.
All right, moving on to Rogan's. He's running Abyssal Dwarves, and he's taking the Lone Wolf. He has not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, but 7, I think I count, regiments of Immortal Guard, all with Throwing Mastiffs, all with the Infernal Wardens. One of them has the Blade of Slashing for good measure. He's got a Hellfane with the Hellforged Overmaster, that's the brutal aura, looks like. He's got an Overmaster with Infernal Advance, which I think is the Aura Strider. 2 Iron Casters, one with Periscope and Knowledgeable to upgrade the Celestial Restoration, and then one with Bane Chant. He's got 2 Hex Casters, one with Conjure Staff, both with Hex and Weakness, as you do. And then he's got an Infernox with the Ironmonger Warlord upgrade, which gives them Aura Elite Infantry, melee only, I believe, and then the Sacred Horn. Rounds out to 14 units, 15 if you include the Wolf, with 24 unit strength.
Yep, that is a lot of throwing dogs. This reminds me of the Tim Lonis list out of Adepticon.
Not even close.
Yeah,
not even.
It's
close.
not quite as bad, but definitely give me some flashbacks. But yeah. Travis. Yes, there we go. Travis, what does David have to do to get through this many throwing dogs? You should know.
I mean, get in and start beating shit up.
Fair enough.
I mean, realistically, he's going to throw dogs at you. So
Punch things before they could throw their dogs.
you just get in there, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have much shooting ahead of you, so lightning bolt something and then charge everything. Get some combos, kill those Immortal Guards, and don't give up a flank to the Hellfane and the Infernox.
Seems reasonable. Jason in the comments there. Table 4, we have Matt Young facing off against Ryan Smith and Alama Diloff, with Ryan Smith coming away with the edge at about 75% of the vote tally. Get their list pulled up here. Travis, if you want to read off Ryan's list, and David, if you'd like to read off Matt Young's list.
All right.
Sure.
David, you want to go first?
Sure. So he's running ogres.
Maybe more ogres.
More ogres. He's got 2 hordes of shooters, 3 regiments of warriors. He has a horde of siege breakers with a staying stone, another horde of siege breakers with what is that? The Chalice of Wrath, as you do. He's got 2 regiments of braves. He has the sergeant without the paymaster with the heavy crossbow. He has 2 berserker bullies, one with the meat of madness, 1 warlock with the boomstick and mindfall, and Namrock for 25 unit strength, 14 drops.
All right, Ryan's got Night Stalkers. He's got a regiment of doppelgangers, 3 hordes of scarecrows, a regiment of reapers with Blessing of the Gods, 2 troops of tormentors, a horde of butchers, a regiment of shadowhounds with the Helm of the Drunken Ram, a horde of fiends with Brew of Haste, 2 Mind Screeches taking the Singing Aberration on both, a Horror with Aura Vicious for melee infantry, and then Lightning Bolt 3, Bane Chant 2, and 2 Dread Fiends with 15 units and 30 unit strength. And looks like
Gotcha.
he's taking the Lone Ranger. Let's see.
I believe it was David's turn to, though I might have been losing track, so if always correct me. But David, how does Ryan lose to Matt Young here? What does Matt Young have to accomplish to overcome Night Stalkers with his ogres?
Well, I've actually played against Ryan a couple times with this list, and his doppelgangers are nasty. No matter what he throws, they're just gross. Ryan knows how to use them and use them well. He had to change his list a little bit because originally he designed his list around the point system that we were. Yep. So he hasn't had that many reps with this list currently, but he knows how to use them, and he's won against me every single time.
Matt also needs to remember how to play Kings of War because I think he's played like 2 games in 2 years. So
I was a little curious. This list looks like what I have in my closet, not a.
Yes,
I've played recently.
I think this is the 2 years ago.
Yeah,
the not paymaster things like this. So, but it'll be good to see Matt. It'll be good to see him back in the
it
game,
will be good to see Matt. It's been a minute. At least last Lonewolf, if not longer. All right. Next up, table 5, we've got Jose Vega versus Robbie King. Jose Vega with Undead playing Robbie King with Ogres. Got another Ogre. Clarifying here that Jose Vega has 87% of the vote share, which to me just sounds like confidence in Jose having played the game. Devlin, if you'd like to read off Jose's list, and then Travis, if you'd like to read off Robbie's. I think I have that right this time, maybe.
All right. Jose Vega is running Undead with the Lonewolf. He's got 2 hordes of zombies, 1 horde of revenants, 1 regiment of Soul Reaver infantry with a staying stone, 2 hordes of wights, 1 troop of Rev Cav, 1 horde of Rev Cav with Jesse's Boots of Striding, a necromancer with Inspiring Talisman, Surge, and Bane Chant, BSB with horse, mounted on a horse with Tome of Darkness, and their BSB is the Wild Charge 2 aura for skeletons. Morgoth the Faceless, as one is wont to do, and then Revenant King on Undead Great Flying Worm with the Brew of Sharpness, so it's hitting on 3s instead of 4s. With the Wolf, that clocks out to 13 drops, and it'll be 26 unit strength.
26.5.
26.5. Indubitably.
All right. More ogres.
All right. Robbie's got some ogres. He's got 2 regimented hunters, 2 hordes of warriors, 1 with the Meat of Madness, 2 hordes of siege rakers, 1 with boots of striding and 1 with haste, 2 hordes of berserker braves, big deal mammoth, Graka Gamak, Namagarak, and that's 11 units and 25 unit strength. The lone wolf, maybe, is what he's taking, probably.
It was not labeled, so I do not have it. It was literally labeled as unknown.
Yep, I don't know.
That tracks for Robbie, honestly.
Yep, sounds like a Robbie move.
Based on the rest of his list, I would probably guess the wolf.
I was thinking wolf, but
I think it's going to be, whoops, I need one of those, and it's going to grab whatever base is in his bag at the time that he places his army. All at once, by the way.
Yep, pretty much.
11 drops, 25 unit strength, so very, very small, very tight, very lean.
Yep, all hits.
David, I know I just made you this, and I'm going to correct myself after this because I realized what happened is that I had it perfect. It was like one person's reading the other list, and then one person's commenting on who wins, and then I was rotating it, and then I lost track. We're 5 lists in. I've already lost track. David, what does Robbie need to do with these ogres to beat undead? How do you beat undead with ogres?
Well, the way to beat undead with ogres, I haven't really done it before, so I wouldn't know. But with the siege breakers, he very well could stop the shambling. It's very hard, but with them losing a speed, hopefully Robbie remembers that since he hasn't played this in a while. Devlin shaking his head.
He did like grow pace for
He might
one.
be in second edition bring with their speed 5 anyway, so like there's that chance.
I think Robbie just needs to remember the rules and stop the shambling part.
He did bring Grok, so there's that. Grok got better.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I will say, I think Jose's trying to catch. My one tidbit of advice for Robbie is that Revenant King on Ungreat Dead Great Flying Worm can charge 22 inches when it wants to. So don't get caught out by that. And because it's got +1 to hit, it's just a real dragon.
And the Cav Horde charges 18.
Yeah. He's spooky. Yeah. Alrighty. Moving right along to table 6, we got Garrett Mercier and Tom Annis. Garrett playing Twilight Kin, Tom playing Goblins. He's reading ahead to his Ranger and getting confused there. Alright, so we'll start this off so I can get us back in order. Devlin, if you can read Garrett's list. David, if you can read Tom's list. And Travis, if you can then tell me what Garrett needs to do to beat Tom.
All right. Monsieur Mercier is he is playing Twilight Kin. He is don't believe it says when he's taking maybe we'll figure that out. But he's got a horde of fleet wardens with veterans of Celestial War and Brute Sharpness. He's got not 1, not 2, but 3 regiments of Void Wranglers with the Unleashed Tormentors. I think they come with that. 2 regiments of Bound Butchers to probably chaff it up with the thickness. 2 regiments of Bound Soulflayers with Windblast as they do. 2 Titans of Bound Terrors to be thick and in the way. The Void Captain, he is also a veteran of the Celestial War. Lothiel Blackheart as she comes, and then a Bound Void Lurker with Pride of the Dark Fleet, which I think gives it more nerve. With whatever he picked, that makes him 14 units and 24.5 unit strength.
For the record, it's Lothiel Voidheart now. She got an upgrade in Champions. That's what I was told.
Yeah, she got like 7 more legs. So
yeah, so she's moved up in the world. All right. It's a goblin list. What do we got?
Well, they're goblins, and as goblins, you have 5 hordes of rabble. Nothing on them because they're expendable. You've got trolls with debt packs and a stain stone. There are 3 war trombones. There are 3 sharp stick throwers, 2 wingets with bombs away, 2 giants, both with cleavers. There's a king with the pendant, Gronish Snark, and a short bow. So he's flying around in his suit. There's 3 different wizards, all of them with lightning bolt. And Magua and Jojo with lightning bolt. With a total of, come on, open up. 24 unit strength, 21 drops.
Yep. Fairly standard as goblins go. Hey, Travis.
No, it's terrible. Tom's list is terrible. It's
What is
not 24 drops. He's doing it wrong.
Well, according to the internet, he is, because Garrett's slated to lose here. So what does Garrett have to do to beat goblins, Travis? This is a great question.
He is stealthy, and Tom sucks at playing games. So
Oh.
Garrett's fine. I mean, let's be honest, it's Tom. He's slipping on his spy stuff. I mean, he's falling behind. Tom's behind with the times. I think Garrett's got it. Mountain Region boy. Sorry. No, I mean, the stealthy comes in. I mean, I've played this matchup against stealthy.
That is fair.
If you can't roll your normal shooting, lightning bolt only goes so far. So, and I mean, terrors are disgusting.
I just don't like the staying stone of the death packs, but that's just me.
You don't like the death packs?
I like the death packs. I don't like the staying stone of the death packs.
Oh, the staying stone on it? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna put a staying stone on something, I mean,
if you have 5 points and nothing else to put, yeah, I guess that is like the best option.
Put it on a horde of rabble.
Get Blade of Slashing to Groany. Can he take artifacts?
I mean,
yeah.
That's Groany's Groany. And he's got the pendant, so.
Tom's going for swordsmanship lately anyway, so he's not a real dojo player.
Yeah,
he's gonna get
I won too many third generals, he won too many sportsmanship, so there has to be a dojo brawler exchange because we can't exist within our own groups anymore.
Alrighty, rolling on down to table 7, we got John Green Jr. playing Undead versus Richard Comstock playing Empire of Dust in a neck and neck vote. Yeah, neck and neck vote with a tiny little edge to John. So Richard's apparently a has-been now. All right, so doing this correctly. So David, if you would like to read John's list, and then Travis, if you would like to read Richard's list, and then Devlin, if you would like to tell me what has-been Richard need to do to overcome Mean Man Jack's dad.
So it says that he's bringing the wolf. He has 3 regiments of zombies. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hordes of zombie trolls. One of them fire oil. That's just nasty in itself. 2 balefire catapult. 1 gore blight. A Lich King with the crown of the Wizard King. Surge 10 and Drain Life 6. 2 necromancers, 1 with the Conjure Staff, Surge 6 and Bane Chant 2. The other one with Surge 6 and Mindfall 2. The Army Standard Bearer with the Tomb of Darkness. So he's got the Wild Charge 2 for skeletons and Surge 5. And then Morgoth the Faceless, as you do, apparently.
Richard's got Empire Dust. He's got a horde of skeleton spearmen with the Casket of the Damned. 4 regiments of mummies, all with the caskets. Regiment of Desert Swarms, a Soul Snare. 2 Bone Giants with giant cleavers. A Monolith. Ammonite Pharaoh with Eternal Guard, knowledgeable upgrade for Surge 8, host Shadow Beast 3. And Ammonite Army Standard Bearer with Tome of Darkness. Idol of Shobik for 13 units and 24 unit strength. Richard's running the wolf.
Yes, both of them are running the wolf here.
I just want to plug, I voted for Richard because he's played this army before, whereas this is a new one for John. Richard, the has-been, I mean, just roll those double D6s. They're made of bullshit, so they're automatically just going to only roll 5s, which is good for watching mummies just one-shot like 14, 16 units. But no, he's got the beef to kind of get in there. He is, praying to a higher power and thanking everything that he picked giant cleavers on both bone giants, because those are going to feast on the trolls, and taking a bone giant in with the flying pharaoh is going to pretty much one-shot units. So he's kind of built well. His defense is also high. I know there's a lot of crush too, but on the trolls, but it's all on 4s. So I think the defense of Richard is probably going to play more in his favor. And I'm guessing he's using he being John is using the Undead Standard Bearer for just a cheap inspiring because there is no skeletons but the Balefire catapults which can't charge, so the wild charge 2 is a little wasted there. But yeah, I think just put his thickness in opportunities, make sure he's not giving multi charges to the trolls, and I think Richard will be fine.
Seems fair enough. I am happy to see the zombie troll list attempt though, because said that that's a good list and no one ever takes it.
It is. Yeah.
Alrighty. Moving down to table 8. This table is an illusion because these matchups have been redone. So all of this is discounted, but we're still going to read it off as if it did count. Because we don't have the lists ready to go for the other people. We don't have the survey, so we have no idea what it would look like for those other people. So we're just going through with what we got. So to that amount, Travis, if I can get you to read Jeff's list, and Devlin, if I can get you to read Rick's list. Keeping track here. Jeff with a significant edge over Rick.
All right. Jeff's rolling halflings. He's got 2 regiments of juggers, 4 hordes of juggers, 1 with the brew strength, 2 muster captains, 1 with the Aralez, sure-footed captain, gnome glass shield, and the other with just sure-footed captain, 3 saucers with the hot pots, and a mustard captain on winged Aralez with relentless and staying stone for 12 units and 23 unit strength, and he's taking the wolf.
All right.
Normal Jeff list.
Yep. Looks like Jeff.
Yep. Feels like Jeff.
Somebody asked me what this would be, and I said this looks like a Brotherhood army that he owns. So
Probably.
yes,
100%.
Rick is bringing undead, and he's taking the wolf, as it says in his title. He's got a regiment of zombies. He has got a horde of spearmen with the Orb of Towering Presence for that delicious unit strength 4 to 110 price point. He has got not 1, not 2, but 3 ghoul regiments. 1, 2, 3, 4 hordes of werewolves. 1 with Drunken Ram. 1 with Brew Strength. 1 with Jesse's Boots. And 1 naked. A ghoul Ghast, which I don't think I've ever seen before without Wings of the Honey Maze, but he does not have Wings of the Honey Maze, so he's just ghouling. Does it have any? Oh, it gives Aura TC now. Okay, so he's buffing up the ghoul regiments. That's interesting. Very flavorful pick. Morgoth, because that guy's auto include. Lycanus with Howl the Wolf, which I believe is Aura Slayer melee D3 for the werewolves, which makes sense because he took 4 hordes. And then the Revenant Undead King on Great Flying Worm with Brew of Sharpness. We're seeing that again, but I don't see the standard bear to make it charge 22. So with the wolf, that's 14 drops and 30.5 unit strength.
Nifty. David, what does Rick here have to do to overcome Jeff Radigan's filth, other than not have to play him?
Well, I have a question that I was looking at Lycanthus. Does the Slayer count for the low? Since it is a beast.
Ooh.
That's a mark ruling, but I mean,
does someone have the rules for the do you have the packet there? I was gonna say, does someone have the rules for the wolf and or the ranger? Because I don't know what their keywords
I don't
are.
think it has any keywords, to be honest with you, but I'll look real quick.
Gotcha.
No, there's no keywords given.
It would be yes, just on the spirit of it, but like obviously I'm not running the tournament, so I can't do that. But personally, I feel like it should have the keyword beast or wolf or something. and then the Ranger would
That
have
would be
keyword
assuming
like
that Marcus
Ranger.
changed
And
the profiles since it moved to 3rd edition and we got keywords.
he
So.
does small edits. He does small edits. But yeah, I probably not, but who knows?
Because that was the case. Like I can see like Cantus and those werewolves with the lone wolf being there with the Slayer. Oh, that would be nasty.
Well, there's only one slayerable item, and that's the wing captain on the muster captain of wing airlet is the only slayerable thing. Everything's cav in the halfling list because it's all hordes of cav and infantry. So Slayer don't play there.
Yeah. I think you're thinking Rampage. Which I would agree
If
with.
it was
That
Rampage,
definitely
oh
would.
sweet Jesus, he would be licking his chops. But unfortunately, everything is Rampageable in Chess list and not Slayerable, but one model.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I see Jeff running away with this one. I don't see Rick because as Rick has said, he doesn't have the reps yet to play this list because it's new.
Jab them up and use your speed. Probably your best options. You got that advantage. But yeah, 4 hordes of knights is fun. That's a new. Haven't seen that in a minute. Alrighty. Well, the good news for both these players is neither of them are playing each other. So they're both playing 2 different people who both joined, and it's up to them to figure out which one they each got to play against now. This is the only matchup that is effective in this manner, I believe. And then we have 1 drop, which is a challenge drop in hindsight. Ooh, we get to make fun of that. All right.
You mean he didn't show up to game 1 again?
Somehow I made this shrink. Fixed. There we go. Okay. On to table 9. Why is this breaking? Fixed? Okay, there we go. Table 9, we've got Roger versus Sam Radigan. We got another dad-son combination here, but not the usual one. Can I get... this would be Devlin to read Rogers, and David to read Sam's, and then Travis to tell me how Roger is going to beat Sam here, as the vote currently is in favor of Sam. Also, that definitely should say Hedgepeth, and I definitely mistyped an R there. So I apologize for that.
All right. Roger is rocking some Order of the Brother mark, and he took the Lonewolf. He has got 1 regiment and 1 horde of men-at-arms swordsmen. He has got 2 regiments of men-at-arms spearmen. He has got 2 regiments of Order of the Abyssal Hunt, one of which is Brew of Strength, the other one is Brew of Sharpness. An exemplar chaplain, talisman, and knowledgeable to bump it up to Celestial Restoration 2. He has an exemplar hunter. He took the gauntlet upgrade, so he gets duelist, which is now ×3. And Order of the Bear, he's going to fly around and punch things in the wiener. 1 high chaplain Augustus, who comes with Bane Chain Heal. And the Defenders of Righteousness formation, which is 2 regiments of Cav, 1 with J-Boots, 1 with Helm the Drunken Ram, and Sir Roderick Demon Bane, which is the big Hulking dragon with Cloak of Death, I think, right? Is it Cloak of Death?
Yes.
No,
Cloak of Death
he
and
doesn't have that
Brutal.
anymore. Oh, is it? Yeah, I can't
He
read.
definitely has
Yes,
Cloak. Yep.
and Brutal. Yep, that guy. He screws. All right, with the roundup, that is 13 units with the wolf and 27.5 unit strength.
All right, so Baby Radigan has up as his title says the Tough Nut. He's bringing the Ranger. He's got 6 regiments of Iron Guard. three steel behemoths, one with Golik's gun and two with the flame belchers. He has two greater earth elementals and one dwarf stone priest. Radiance of Life, Stainstone, knowledgeable, with Surge 8 and Celestial Restoration. It is 25.5 unit strength and 13 drops.
Thank God for the Stone Priest to bring down the average defense to 5.98.
Yep.
And the Ranger helps bring it down too.
True. 5.96.
Yeah, just ugh.
This is disgusting.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that one, but I don't even think that one's a easy solution problem. But in any case, Travis, how does the Brother Mark beat it? It is really good that he's got Cloak of Death, though, isn't it? Because that fucking doesn't care what your defense is.
Yeah, Cloak of Death's great, but it's disgusting.
It is.
And as a Brother Mark player, I don't want to see this defense 6 wall, if anything. There's not enough thunder to go around, especially once you get hit once back. It's so gross.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
obviously, if I'm playing against this with my Brother Mark, I am playing the scenario hard and outmaneuvering and just using my speed to my advantage because that's what he's got.
He does have that.
This is disgusting.
Yeah.
Don't play Dominate, please. God, no Dominate game 1. Not even fair.
Yeah.
On his bullseye, not Dominate.
It'll struggle against some things, but I don't know that this is the thing it struggles against. And it is definitely the tough nut. I don't think you can get a tougher nut than this.
No, this is, I mean, if he can isolate corners and things, he might be able to peel out edges with the Crush 3 on the Dragon and like Thunder and stuff, but like if he ends up in a straight line melee, he's screwed.
Yeah.
Because once he starts losing Thunderous, his infantry aren't going to do anything. I mean, his 4 units of the swordsmen and spearmen they're just going to chaff. That's what they need to do is chaff for him, but
yeah.
I mean, I'd peel the corners if possible. Make the dwarves turn different directions and keep him in a circle somewhere.
Yeah.
I've played Sam a couple times, and he has played this defense 6 list for a couple of years now, and he actually knows his stuff. As young as he is, he learned from his dad really, really well.
To take one of the same thing 7 times?
Spam something tough? Okay. No, yeah, Sam. I know Sam's a good player, so.
Alrighty. Shifting to table 10. We have Dan Kamek versus Pat Zora Allen. I don't know why it doesn't like me opening these links anymore. If I can get this should be that was Travis. If I can get David to read Dan's list and Travis to read Pat's list, and then Devlin to tell us all how Dan Kamek beats a retired self-declared has-been U.S. Master.
All right, so Dan is bringing. Hang on. For some reason it wasn't loading. He has the Ranger, and he has the Naiad and Snares with Poison Frogs and Brew Strength. A horde of them. He has a regiment of Fool with Poison Frogs and Blood of the Old King. He has 3 regiments of River Guard, one with Poison Frogs, the other two with javelins. He's got 2 hordes of gigas, 3 tidal swarms, regiments, 1 knucker. I love that word, knucker. Why are you closing? An aqua mage with the rising tides, periscope, and bark skin, which is really cool. He's got the aura of wild charge +1. He has a naiad and envoy with the Bane Chant 2 with the aura of fury. You've got a Riverguard Sentinel with the aura of vicious for amphibians. A Depth Horror Internal. And a Riverguard Dam Buster Sentinel as the Pond Warden. So you're looking at 17 drops and 28.5 unit strength.
There's a
All
lot
right.
of frogs.
Patrick's taking Night Stalkers. He's got a Legion of Bloodworms with Hammer Measured Force, 4 troops of Reapers, a horde of Butchers with Brew of Sharpness, a regiment of Shadowhounds with the Drunken Ram, a horde of Fiends, Planar Apparition Mind Screech, a Shadowhawk, a Horror with Aura Vicious for melee infantry, and then Sacred Horn, Bane Chant 2, Weakness 2. He's got the Dream Hunter, he's got a Dread Fiend, and that's 13 units and 22 unit strengths, and then he's taking
The wolf.
the Wolf, yeah.
All right. We have a round 1 rematch of Lonewolf 2017, I think, maybe 2018, the one right after Pat won Masters. He tabled Dan then, but they were playing Salamanders and Herd respectively, so let's see if Dan can win this grudge match. Dan's been playing the Trident Realms for a little bit now. He's solid with them. Unfortunately, Pat played Trident Realms for like the last 4 years. However, the list is completely different and doesn't function in any way it did, but Pat's not necessarily going to get caught out by any of the tricks. Really what it's going to boil down to is if he can make sure Pat's probably looking for the Dream Hunter Vicious Wombo combo with the Reapers. Fortunately, Dan's just as spammy, so losing a unit here or there is not going to matter, and then those Reapers will immediately get picked back up. He might also be able to survive with, Ensnare and some what's the word? Barkskin. That'll help out a lot because God, Tridal Swarms with Barkskin are pains in the ass for no reason. That said, Dan has no answer for the Bloodworm Legion, and so he's just going to have to pray that Pat has a stroke and puts it not where it needs to be, and he can just avoid it the whole time because that's going to be painful. So focus the Reapers, avoid the Bloodworms, sweep the leg, call it a day.
Seems fair. I think it's probably closer than that response would indicate, at least in my opinion. But it should be an interesting match.
Yeah, I think this and the Garrett Tom match are probably the 2 most interesting ones for me.
So far, yeah. Or just in general?
Just in general.
Gotcha. All right, we have... Oh, goody. Danny Johnson versus Matt Carmack, who is me. That puts...
I get to read Matt's list.
I was going to say at this point, yeah, it's you're reading my list. I'm pretty sure David is doing the who wins this, and then Travis is reading Danny's list. There we go, keeping track.
All right.
Start us off with Danny.
Yep. Danny's got Northern Alliance, taking the Lone Ranger. He's got a horde of Ice Naiads with Tundra Fighters, Spears, and Hammer Measured Force. 3 regiment of Pack Hunters with bows. 3 hordes of Frostclaw Riders with Ice Bombs. 3 regiment of Snow Foxes. A Bolt Thrower. a Ice Queen with Periscope, Hex 2, Wither, and Perish 3, Frostclaw Champion, and Harem for 14 units and 25 unit strength.
All right. Matt is taking his tried and true Empire of Dust. He is. I'm assuming you're running the Wolf. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The host of the High King copy. I don't know who this copy guy is, but he sounds fancy. Matt is running one horde of enslaved guardians with the Aegis of the Elohai. He has got 2 troops of Revenant Cav and 4 regiments of Revenant Cav, one of them with Sir Jesse's boots. He's got the Snow Snare, as you do, the Monolith. Glad to see you come around on that one. He's got an Ammonite Pharaoh on Chariot. He's got Orb of Towering Presence because he didn't take Ross. Got the Idol of Shobik, as Matt is one to do, and his chosen boy, Apaphis, the champion of Ass. With the Wolf, that is 13 drops and 24.5 unit strength.
Cool. What does Danny have to do to beat this? And the answer is Hex the Monolith. Or the Soul Snare, or anything.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Danny's got a lot of shooting.
I like his list.
I like his list too. I'm actually quite impressed with it. I've been building Northern Alliance myself, and that looks very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what the outcome becomes, because those ice bombs on Northern Alliance are really, really good.
Yeah, if this was not playing against Matt's long distance charging army, the play is to ice bomb to keep things kind of locked. It's at 14 inches and then just rain down. So it's interesting. But Matt's all of this stuff besides the horde are speed 8, so or higher, so it'll be a little wasted there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I like his list. I would play his list against my list. I think his list is better than my list in a straight up matchup. Anyway, hi Luke. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
No
worries.
So that just gives me one more person I can get to read stuff. If you've got the Discord and can pull lists, hopefully. If not, then I can just have you tell people how they're going to win. Speaking of which, moving on to table 12, we've got, hey, this actually works out. Devlin versus Justin May. Devlin playing Halflings, Justin May playing Night Stalkers. Devlin with a significant edge over Justin, which I feel like that one's also potentially closer than people are giving it credit for.
Considering that I cannot roll anything less than 5 snakes every time I play Justin, which has been the last 4 Texas tournaments, it has been a draw every single time. So this is the rubber match to see, can my dice survive? The answer is probably not.
This was a challenge match, correct?
Yes, he challenged me because we played 7 turns at Naughty or Nice with him and Jordan versus me and Dan. I rolled like 4 snakes on dogs, and then we drew. And then we played 7 turns at Bayou, and I rolled like 3 snakes on his Night Stalkers, and we drew. So
beautiful.
It's the rubber match of drawing.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have David read off Devlin's list. I'm going to have Travis read off Justin's list, and then I'll have Luke tell us how Justin beats Devlin. So starting off with Devlin's list.
Right. Devlin is bringing the Ranger with his Halfling. And it's opening. So Devlin's got stalwarts, a horde of them. They are the heroes of Hindenburg. There are 2 regiments of poachers. There's a regiment of grenadiers. There's a horde of forest trolls. I've got 2 regiments of Juggers, one with the meat, the other with the blood of the old king. There's a regiment of aeronauts. There's 2 harvesters, a muster captain on a steed with the surefoot captain. That gives him the aura of Strider. He's got a saucer with the halfling hot pot and the wings of the honey maze. That's always good. And 2 captains on winged steeds for a total of 25.5 unit strength, 15 drops.
Fun times.
All right, Justin's taking Night Stalkers. He's got 3 hordes of Scarecrows, 3 troops of Tormentors, a regiment of Shadowhounds with Blood of the Old King, 3 regiments of Soul Flayers, 1 with Pipes of Terror, 1 with Drunken Ram, and 1 with Boots of Striding, 2 Mind Screeches with Singing Aberration, the Portal of Despair, a Butcher Flesh Ripper, a Void Lurker with Trickster's Wand, and that's 15 units and 28 unit strengths, and he's taking the Ranger.
Cool. Nice and tight with no items. I like it. Or very few items. Luke, how does Justin with these Night Stalkers beat Devlin's Halflings?
Do we know what the scenario is?
No
We do
clue.
not.
I think he's clearly going for second wave with Tormentors and Soulflayers, so probably wants to absorb charges with the Scarecrows. Unfortunately for him, none of the Mind Screeches are the Planar Apparition, which is kind of annoying for him, I guess, against the shooting that Devlin's bringing. Devlin doesn't have like a ton of shooting, but it's enough to, put something down a little bit. So he's going to need to hide those, like particularly the Tormentors, but also the Soulflayers. I think he's probably going to want to play it as 2 battle groups, using Soulflayers to wind blast things back in one, and then absorb a charge in the other. So probably giving away, delaying the first turn charge on one flank, and then trying to absorb the first that first charge on the other. I think he can probably get the first charge off some places as well, thanks to Wind Blast, and I think only the Edge Grenadiers and the Winged Arrow Lasers are speed 10 in Devlin's list, right? Yeah, so it's going to be a bit of. I think it's really going to come down to who wants to commit first. That Justin can kind of dictate somewhat with Wind Blast. Is it just the 3 sources of Wind Blast?
The
and
2
Mind Screeches as well. So he's
aberrations,
got 5 sources of Wind Blast, which is pretty. It's going to be pretty annoying to play against, I think. So really, for Devlin, that's going to be a case of using Sorcerers, Muster Captain, that sort of thing as that Wind Blast blocker behind units. So it's interesting to see, I guess, all the items on the Soulflayers. So he's clearly looking for flanks, because Soulflayers aren't cracking anything to the front, really, even with that bit of extra punch in combat. So 100% his playstyle is going to look for flanks with Soulflayers, so probably wind blasting back to dictate the flow of the game, and then get into flanks with Soulflayers, probably by absorbing charges with the Scarecrows. That's probably, I think, how Justin's going to play it out. Yeah. I mean, both lists are pretty standard, really. There's no, you're not going ham in any particular niche.
All right.
Thoughts?
It took me literally until the end of that readout to realize that this is not Justin's Ravager list, because that's what I'm used to seeing. So there's no Ravagers. It's not gonna ensnare or enthrall you and shoot you off the table this year.
Which is good, because might have a good shot against all the spell word I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to shoot anything off the table with only the 12 lightning bolt, and particularly the spell ward, which is going to help against the wind blast. But I think he's got enough sources that he's just going to power through.
It'll still inconvenience me. I have to use the individuals, right?
Yep. All right. Next up, we've got another almost shutout response to the survey. We've got Jesse Garrett versus Ben I'm just going to say Ben because I'm definitely going to pronounce his last name. Luke, if you've got the access to the list, if you would like to read Benjamin's list out, and then Devlin, if you'd like to read, Travis, if you'd like to read Jesse's list out. There we go. Still in the correct order, and then Devlin gives the comments.
All right, so we're looking at is it Benjamin Weisert? Is that how you say it?
I think that's
Right.
how it's pronounced. And if it's not, then I'm wrong. And sorry, Ben.
All right, so old Benno is playing Undead. He's got 2 regiments of skeleton spearmen, a horde of revenants with the undead rats and strength. That's punchy horde right there. We've got a regiment of Soul Reaver infantry with Dwarven Ale for headstrong. There's 2 troops in a regiment of Rev Cav all naked, a regiment of Soul Reaver Cav with Chalice for fury. We've got a Rev King on a horse. He hasn't been given Surge, so he's just there, I guess, as an inspiring potential road bump. We've got Lich King with Surge, heal, and Shroud of the Saint, just to bump up that heal. Morgoth the Mandatory, a Vampire on Undead Peg with nothing else, and a Rev King on Burrowing Worm with the Brew of Sharpness to take him down to melee 3 up. That's 13 drops and 24 unit strength.
Jesse's running Forces of Nature. He's got 2 regiments of the Hunters of the Wild, 2 hordes of Shamblers, 1 with Meat of Madness, 2 hordes of Scorch Marines, 2 Pegasus, Kapoka, 3 Tree Herders, 1 with the Wilt Father upgrade. The other 2, one has Brew of Haste and the Wine of Elvenkind on the other one. And that's it. 12 units, 23 unit strength, and he's taking the Wolf.
So I'm going to tell Ben how to beat this.
Yeah, how does Ben beat this?
Pray that Jesse has dad brain, and because he hasn't played in the last year, that he's all washed up.
Washed up.
Is he really not played all year?
I don't think he's done a GT since Masters, because his child was born shortly after, I believe.
Oh, that is fair.
Yeah.
Not quite the Tom Annis where there's 1 a year, but it's pretty close. So, it's Jesse's got a gross list. He's going to be on the middle line to start the game, and most of his stuff that you want to charge is going to have phalanx, which is not going to be appetizing for your vampire on peg or your Rev Cav. Fortunately, 2 are troops, so they're there to scream, but it's going to be interesting. I guess look for flanks, but unfortunately, Jesse's a great player, so he's not really going to offer them. The interesting one is the Burrowing Worm. I'm surprised to see that he doesn't have the instead of the Revenant King, he has a BSB with a standard to give that a little bit more oomph. But pick your fights. Hope you can get some flanks, some things stick in, and try to sweep the leg. The easy ones are going to be the Hunters of the Wild are still, the softer of the targets, but they're not, anything to. They'll get you stuck in with 14, 16 D5. So 3 Tree Herders. It's play the objective. That's what I have for you. You outdrop them. You just got to hope that it's something like push where you can get lucky and grab a token and hold on to that. Because otherwise, he's going to start in the middle of the field. He's going to be girthy in where he is, and it's going to be hard to move him. So pray for the right scenario, my guy.
Yeah, interestingly, there's 7 skeleton units, right? And he didn't take the standard bearer.
I was just about to say that because I was like, I thought I heard the standard bearer, and that would have actually helped the Rev King and made more sense for like a Rev King chaff.
Yeah, if it was a BSB,
just all his units, even the Rev Cav, everything. Like, there's huge benefits to that in that list, and you're not losing much over dropping the Rev King. But should we mention the turn 1 charge that he should watch out
with
for?
The Meat of Madness? Yeah, that is absolutely
there's 2 actually, because
he's got haste on one tree,
and he's got nimble on the other, so he can still pull it off.
So he can get that little corner. Just
so that's 2
or 3, yeah, because it's Mead, haste, and nimble.
He doesn't have.
He's got Mead on one of the horde of Shamblers, so it can charge.
So them as well. So there's three potential. Spicy.
Yep. So if you deploy on the line, make
He
sure
wants
that
to
the
be done by
stuff that
turn
he's
3, one way or the other.
yeah. If you deploy on the line, make sure the stuff that's deploying can take a hit.
Yep.
All right, shifting down to table 14. Best of luck to Ben there. Table 14, we got Brian versus Chuck. In a pretty much dead even. I think that's another split vote. Yep, it's a functional split vote because it's as close as I can get to a functional tie. All right, so I'm keeping track here. Luke, if you want to read off Brian's list, and then Devlin, if you'd like to read off Chuck's list, and then David, if you want to tell us how. Actually, I have to check. Chuck will win this game. Chuck running Night Stalkers.
So Brian's list is Varangur with Wolf. I'm guessing it's a wolf-themed Varangur army. So he's
Lonewolf has 2 special characters.
Lonewolf special character.
Gotcha.
Right,
Yeah. There you go.
So what's he give?
The wolf is like
16-inch Thunder 1, Crush 1, Dread, and then he can get buffed up. The Ranger is the other one, which is like 16-inch Pierce 2, Shatter 1 on 3s with Elite. So it's shooting or Disruptor, really.
Yeah, right. Dread's interesting then. So we've got 3 hordes of Draugr. There's 3 regiments of Night Rangers with bows instead of throwing axes. And then a bit of a monster mash. There's 3 Jabberwocks, 3 Thane on Frostfangs, all with Snow Foxes, 3 Lords on Frostfangs, all with Snow Foxes, and one of them has the Staying Stone. So clearly we've got cheap unlocks, the hordes of Draugr to do the Jabberwocks and the heroes, and then 3 infantry regiments to unlock the other 3. So that's essentially a total of 9 nimble square bases.
One thing I do want to say is I don't know if Mark grabbed the right list out of his inbox because this is the 2023 list and we're in 2025. So I don't know if Mark grabbed the wrong one or Brian sent the wrong one because he has not played that list in 2 years.
That's
so
a good point.
We'll see. The list might be slightly different, but yeah, I was like, he doesn't play that these days. No, because it's a 2-year-old list. Interesting.
I was gonna say, didn't we update Night Raiders?
Yes. The list is. Is it? Brian might have sent the wrong list.
Is it legal?
Probably not, because I think he's actually playing Northern Alliance these days and not Varangur, but it's the same models. So that's interesting, Wrinkle. I will text Brian and see if he sent the wrong list.
It is at least legal, so as far as I can tell. I think it was the Northern Alliance ones, the ones that changed points to match these guys, not the other way around. At least more recently. Everything else shouldn't have changed since the Northern Alliance update back in 23, which this would match with, because it's Snow Foxes is a separate upgrade. Yeah, all the other stuff is fine.
Yeah, the points look fine.
Yeah. Anyway.
And yeah, he's got 15 drops and 24 unit strength.
Yep. Give me Chuck.
All right. Chuck is running Night Stalkers with the Ranger. He has not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Scarecrow hordes, one of them with the Scrying Gem. He's got not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 sources of Wind Blast in the Soul Flayers. But wait, son, there's more. He's got 1, 2, 3 Singing Aberration Mind Screeches for 18 more Wind Blasts. Next, he follows it up with 2 Horrors, 1 with the Boomstick to make his Lightning Bolt 5, 1 with the Conjurer's Staff, and he's got Lightning Bolt and Bane Chant. And then Chuck rounds it out with a Dread Fiend because he couldn't find any more Wind Blast in his list, and that guy has the Trickster's Wand and Hex 2. With the Ranger, that is 17 drops and 28.5 unit strength. I will say it's likely that Brian's playing a Northern Alliance list that is like 2 Giants in Harem and like 1 horde of Ice Elementals. But there's no Draugr, there's no real shooting besides the Ice Elementals. And I think maybe there's like a horde of Ice Naiads and a horde the guys, huntsmen or whatever they're called, the not clansmen anymore, whatever they retcon the name to. So, if that is the correct list.
Sure.
Or when he shows up at my house to drive me tomorrow, I'll tell him he needs to go back home and get a different army. So,
We will assume it's the correct list. David, what does Chuck have to do to beat Brian's Behringer? Both these lists
Well,
want to do the same
there's
thing, and
that.
it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I'm looking at all that wind blast, and I don't want to go up against it. So there's what, 9 things of wind blast?
Yes, 9. A lot of wind blasts.
Yeah. A lot of wind blast, a lot of pushing around. So get in deep and try to work your way through it.
Yeah, I imagine it will be a case of both players want the other person to engage the hordes, and then they want to use their square base nimble stuff, or in the case of the Night Stalkers, the Soul Flayers, as a jump over and hit the flanks that have appeared now, or even just double charges and or triple charges and or whatever else you can manage to navigate through. Jabberwocks are fun. I always like seeing those. Don't know that they're great in this matchup, but they're great. They're fun. Yeah, I want to see this game. I don't get to see this type of game. Alrighty. Pushing to table 15. We have Chen, and then I was told the spelling on his last name is incorrect. That's on Mark. I'm throwing him under the bus entirely for that. And that it should have been spelled just Qin. So it's Mark's fault. That's the name he gave me. But he is playing Kingdoms of Men versus Mike Grajeda's Force of Abyss. That one's on me. Because I definitely mistyped a F instead of a D. David, if you would like to read Mike's list, and Travis, if you'd like to read... Wait, nope, I got it backwards. Hold on. Devlin, if you'd like to read Chen's list, and then David, if you'd like to read Mike's list, and then Travis, tell me how Chen beats Mike.
I would love to read Chen's list, but I do not have access to get into the list.
Let's say I didn't either.
Oh?
I couldn't.
Yeah, I have a. You don't have access.
Open. Yeah.
Oh, this is bizarre.
Nobody does.
I think I remember seeing it once upon a time, but I
was-
cannot recall when I voted on this 6 weeks ago what the actual thing is. It was like a bunch of pikes, which is like, oh, okay, it's Kings of Men list. And then
I was going to say, I definitely
like, oh, it's a bunch of
saw
Kings of
it.
Men list.
Yeah.
I've seen it before. I think I saw it because I think this is the only person sick enough to run Kings of Men in 2024. So, and then like 2 Beast Cab with flying and nimble and whatever they come with. So, there, I read his list based off memory. So it's like 3 Pike Hordes, like 7 Pegasus, and then 2 Beast Cab Hordes, and maybe he had the Monarch. I can't remember that far back.
Hold on, I'm sure.
There you go. Read the list.
Let me do it this way. Since I don't have immediate access to it, Travis, if you can, or sorry, David, if you can read Mike's list, and while you're doing that, I will see if I can track it down.
All right, Mike is bringing the Lone Ranger, and he has 3 troops of Abyssal Guard, all with the Imp. He has 2 troops of Gargoyles. He has a horde of Abyssal Berserkers with the Imp and Brew of Sharpness, and then a horde of Berserkers with the Imp and Helm of the Drunken Ram. A horde of Mohawks with the Champion and Blessing of the Gods. A regiment of Abyssal Horsemen with Sir Jesse's Boots. Tortured Souls Regiment with the Blade of Slashing. A Abyssal Fiend with Regeneration 5 and Fireball 10. Oh, he has 2 of those. Exactly the same. An Abyssal Warlock with the Conjurer's Staff, Firebolt, Banechant 2, and Veil of Shadow. And Zazu the Betrayer. And he comes with Banechant 2 and Lightning Bolt 4. So a total of 15 drops and 25.5 unit strength.
All right. I was able to drag up Chen's list here. We've got Kingdoms of Men with 3 Spear Phalanx regiments, all upgraded to have pikes, which your memory was good. 1 Foot Guard Horde with 2-handed weapons. 2 Beast Cav hordes, both with fly, both with Thunderous Charge 1 and Vicious. 1 with Indomitable Will and Sir Jesse's Boots of Striding, the other one with neither of those. 2 Ballistas, a Giant with the Cleaver, a Standard Bear with Loot of Insatiable Darkness and Banechant 2, also with Life Leech 2 as an aura for infantry, so all those pikemen. A Wizard with a Pegasus mount, a Conjurer's Staff, and Banechant 2, so Banechant 3 effectively, and then a chaff piece. A second Wizard on a Pegasus mount, and I think it is literally just a Wizard on a Pegasus mount for a 65-point chaff piece. 3 Generals on Winged Beasts, naked, but they're 190 points for 7 attacks, 14, 16. 15 drops, 26 unit strength. Yeah. It's a Kingdoms of Men list with a lot of flying stuff and a lot of pikes.
Yeah.
How does Kingdoms of Men beat the new Forces of the Abyss, Travis?
Needs to find some flanks. Get through those Abyssal Berserker hordes and the Molochs. I mean, that's what you got to do. Against Abyssal, you got to win the chaff battle and find some flanks. Because going heads on into the Berserkers and the Molochs gets you killed.
Yep, that sounds like an Abyssal thing.
And I mean, that's what Kingdom Men's need to do. So.
Well, I do think he has the tools to do it, so.
He has them. Just get them in the right spots, so.
Yep.
I think a double charge with a Beast Cav and a
Lord on Winged Beast.
Yeah, would take out a Berserker Horde.
Probably.
Or a Moloch Horde. So if you can get 2 doubles at once, then that's.
I mean, you can, but you gotta get through that chaff. That's his problem.
Yeah.
I mean, those Abyssal Guard and the Gargoyles. I mean, even the Abyssal Fiends are chaff in the Abyssal list, so. And they're no slouch, so.
This is true, but we will have faith in him as we hit up table 16. We've got Mark Burr with Trident Realms versus Zach Clark. If I can get David to read Zach's list, Travis to read Mark's list, and then Luke to tell me how Mark Burr beats Zach Clark.
All right, Mark's rolling some Trident Realms. He's got 5 hordes of Depth Horrors, 2 regiments of Tidal Swarms with the Noken Shepherd on both, a Nucker, Coral Giant with the Giant Club, a Kraken with the Tidebringer, Thule Mythican with the Mournful Blade, knowledgeable upgrade for Barkskin and Alchemist Curse, the Siren, a Depth Horror Eternal with the Orb of Towering Presence, the Trident King with the Tide Spray, and that's 14 units and 25 unit strength, and he is taking the Wolf.
This is a 2018 Trident Realm list, basically. I haven't seen Death Horrors in a minute.
A lot of them.
But yeah, David, give me Zach Clark.
Zach is bringing some goblins. He's got 4 hordes of rabble, a Luggett gang with the blood of the old king, a regiment of them. He's got a horde of spitters with bows, 1 mop-up launcher, 3 sharp stick throwers, a wing it with bombs away, 2 goblin slashers with the sharp stick throwers, a giant with cleaver, the king with the pendant and Grony Snark, so he's got that fly suit, which is always fun. He's got 2 flagets, one on mount with the trickster's wand, the other with the boomstick on foot, a wizard on mount with lightning bolt 3, and a troll bruiser with the blade of slashing. For a total of 20 drops and 26.5 unit strength.
How does Mark beat that? I don't think he does, to be honest. There's no, it's all low def. Sure, he's got ensnare, but Zach's not looking to get involved in combat as much as possible. So going against Mark, he's got fairly low def across the board. No way to get stealthy. So the only thing really he's got for counter shooting is a weakness and a bark skin. So and not really much counter shooting of his own. The Tidal Swarms have a couple of little dings, and I think you've got an Alchemist Curse there as well. So he has to get suck into the goblins as quickly as possible. But even then, with 4 hordes of rabble, I don't think Zach cares too much about getting charged. There's basically a horde of depth horrors is going to die. At least one is going to die every turn. It's whichever one he doesn't put bark skin on. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on scenario on how to play this. Mark's just going to have to get stuck in as quickly as possible. He has to try and get things like Tidal Swarms going into war engines to start tying them up while other units go in and start taking off the scoring pieces. And obviously looking for things like flanks with the Naka and the Depth Horror Eternal and Trident King. That's going to be really key to being able to take out hordes of rabble really quickly, and hopefully that Lugger gang as well. I don't know. It's going to be a super uphill battle. I'm not sure, about the skill levels of each of these players, but looking purely on a list basis, it's definitely Zach's game to lose.
I would drink Chuck if I had any alcohol left after the Throwing Dog Massacre 2 weeks ago. I will say the one nice thing going for Mark is that Zach brought only sharp stick throwers and not trombones, so it's not. It could have been 50 breath weapon attacks. Instead, it's only what is that? 10 blast D3 hitting on 4 sharp stick thrower attacks with piercing.
You've got the wing it as well for Iron Sky, and
not counting
lightning bolt.
I'm just counting the things that could have been trombones. Yeah.
But that would have worked out a lot better.
Much worse.
Yeah.
Even more pup launchers, right, on Def 3 are going to do damage.
Yeah. When it's Def 3, it all hurts.
This is not the grossest shooting goblin list for sure, but he's shooting into basically Def 3. So he's just got to hit and he's putting wounds on.
This is true. Alrighty, table 17. We've got Chris Finnegan versus Sean Scott. Travis, if I get you to read, do you want to read Elves or Reckon?
Oh, do it. Don't make me read the elves.
Okay, I'll make you read Ratkin, and then yeah, I'll make Luke read elves. It's
I know
more.
Jason's watching. I can't do it.
Yep. And then Devlin, you can tell us how the Ratkin are going to overcome filthy, filthy elves. The question we all want answered.
All right, Luke, you want to go first? You want me to go?
Sorry, I was checking chat. Am I doing elves or Ratkin?
You
You're
got
doing
the
elves.
I can't touch elves.
I do elves.
Come on. Elves are disgusting.
I am building elves at the moment, so maybe.
Oh, perfect. There
Maybe
you go.
maybe I'll serve it. All right. So, Chris's elves are 3 regiments of Gladestalkers, which is 1 up from the standard 2. We've got a troop of Silverbreeze Cav with shortbows. We've got the 2 hordes of Dracons, 1 with Jesse's Boots, 1 with Meat of Madness. So we've got some terrain mitigation and Wild Charge 1 on the other. There's an Elven King with the Sabertooth Hunting Cat, which is not seen very often. Maybe he had a spare 10 points. Maybe he used to run command dice and isn't anymore. On a horse with a Shard Blade. So it really does, likely in there just as a character hunter with those 10 attacks on 2s. We've got 3 Archmages. First one has, sorry,
15 attacks. 15 attacks on 2s.
It's triple now.
Yeah. Sorry, 15 on 2s. Yeah, right. We've got so 3 Archmages. The first one has Lightning Bolt and Alchemist Curse. The second one has Lightning Bolt and Hex, and the third one has Lightning Bolt and Inspiring Talisman. Then the formation, and nothing special on the formation. So it's just the 2 regiments and the 1 character of Dracons. That's 13 drops plus the Ranger, and 18 unit strength.
And Sean is running the Furry 3 Ratkin. He's got 4 hordes of Nightmares with the Blight Cannons, 2 regiments of Vermintide, a legion of Vermintide Legion, 3 Death Engine Impalers, a Mutant Rat Fiend, 2 Warlocks with Banechant 3, and 3 Swarm Criers for 16 units and 22 unit strength, and he is taking the Wolf.
So I'm arguing I'm pro rat this time.
Yes.
You're pro rat.
The rat list is super interesting. It's not a rat list you see, but like he's got the synergy between the Nightmares. They can walk up, they can shoot. He's got the Swarm Criers to give elite to him. I think he maybe have one too many, but hey, live your best life, my guy. They're very inspiring, so it helps make sure everything's good there. I probably would have liked to have had a what's the Fury guy, the Tangle, but I digress. 3 Death Engine Impalers. This dude is going to shoot you a little bit to soften you on the way in, and then he's going to punch the crap out of you. The good news is if he gets close to the elves to where he's in shooting range, even though it doesn't have any pierce or anything, it's going to do terrible things to the elves. The problem is the elves had a lot of range and a lot of speed to where they don't have to necessarily play the game if they don't want to, which is, hey, every elf player ever. The Vermintide Legion is hilarious. He can put that in front of his list, or maybe he can run it through and have it kind of block for his hordes. And that way he can kind of walk up, take the same kind of covered shots that he's going to be taking at that point, and maybe that's kind of the play. But yeah, I try to get a good scenario, drink Chuck, and basically just kind of force your way into the middle of his lines and break them up so you can kind of pick off things that you need to.
Yeah, 3 storm words. Three storm callers. 3 Swarm Criers is definitely a little wonky to me.
Yeah,
I feel
he wants the elite but I honestly think those Nightmares should almost be on top of each other, so 2 of them can probably do the trick and still get like the folks on the side with the inspiring aura. So
yeah,
but it's also his only inspirers, and they're dirt cheap for inspiring. So that's it's probably is a bit of an overlap, but he's probably just thinking 45 points for a very inspiring plus I can spread the aura out. Basically everything's tech, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, he could have two with the cluster of nightmares, and then one's just kind of running its ass off behind the Death Engine wing and just saying, "Look at me, I'm elite. Suck it."
elite and vicious, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say that it's because he doesn't have the points for something else, because he has no items as far as I can tell. He only has the 2 warlocks with Bane Chant. So, yeah, I mean, it's as lean as it gets as far as the list is concerned.
He's grinding rats sideways instead of front ways. It's weird, but I think it can work.
Be cool to watch, but yeah, it's the standard elf list, and elf lists are filthy. Moving down to table 18, we've got Delbert versus Jason. We have Delbert with his Force of Nature and Jason with Ogres. Luke, if I can get you to read Delbert's list? Yes. And then Devlin, if I can get you to read Jason's. And then David, tell me how Delbert is going to end up winning this game.
All right, so Delbert has the wolf, and he has 3 troops of heart piercers, so that's interesting. Probably just wanting volume of shots for cheap rather than necessarily the nerve to back it up. We've got a horde of fire elementals, a horde of water elementals, a horde of air elementals, a horde of earth elementals, which is pretty nice. So he's got the Captain Planet going there, because he's got earth, fire, wind, water, and with the heart piercers, he's got heart. So full Captain Planet assemble. There's a regiment of woodland critters. Then there's a greater air, a greater fire, a hydra, which I love. I'd rather run 3, but 1's good. A greater earth, and a tree herder. So he has a total of 1 inspirer in the list, and that's the tree herder, which I hope he's modeled as Captain Planet, because that would be insanely cool. That's actually, does the wolf inspire as well?
Only itself.
Only itself, yes. So
I was
1
gonna
inspire.
say.
Yeah, so that's 13 thick drops and 23 unit strength.
All right. Jason's my boy. He is taking ogres. It does not say if he's got the wolf or the ranger. But he has 2 regiments of ogre warriors, 1 horde of warriors. He's upgraded them to 2-handed weapons and taken the matriarch, which I believe gets them redeploy. Yep, and elite on that horde. So thick. He's got not 1, not 2, but 3 siege breakers. 1 with Sir Jesse's boots of striding. 2 troops of the Red Goblin scouts. Those are the cav guys. 1 giant with the giant club, as you do. A sergeant with the heavy crossbow, but not a paymaster. 1, 2, 3 ogre warlocks that are not getting dice or anything. Oh no, it still gets it from the warriors.
It's
correct?
Warriors, yeah.
There were. Yeah, I went too far back in my brain of how warlocks work. They all have lightning bolt and drain life. And then Namagarok, as you are one to do. So with the mystery character, it is 15 drops, 25.5 units strength.
Well, that ogre list looks pretty tempting. It's something that I've looked at running myself. I dropped out of the siege breakers to do the mercenaries with the paymaster instead, but those siege breakers can go toe to toe against most of those elementals. Considering the fact that he doesn't have a lot of surge, I'm seeing Captain Planet falling into vat of toxin.
He's got 1 surge. I was about to say, yeah, he does only have the 1 surge for, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 searchable units.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be that will be interesting.
Yeah, not having surge for the greater air is going to be pretty disappointing for him.
Yeah,
but also I feel like Jason's list was pre-clash, and it's just what he had, because obviously he's doubled down hard on the warlocks and nom, but he's only got the 3 mercs. I'd probably rather If he dropped the Matriarch and the Blessing, he can afford the Paymaster upgrade for the Sergeant and to upgrade the Goblin Scouts both to Warrior Regiments, I think. That probably buys him enough points, and that would probably suit the list a little bit better.
Yeah. It still works all right though. You still got the +3.
It's still ogres.
Yeah, it's still.
And there's still 3 Siege Maker hordes.
Yep.
Yeah, Gilbert looks like he has the one of everything. I'm a new guy, which fortunately enough for him, Jason is a very nice guy, so he should have a delightful game while he's picking up his models.
Very true.
Seems fair enough. All right, table 19. We got Randy Davis versus Ryan. This is, hey, Randy joined the chat just in time for me to mock him for missing game 1 again. And a challenge game, no less. I don't know what happened, but I hope you're okay, Randy.
He likes ducking challenges. That's kind of his thing.
But we will miss Randy, but we will still read this off as if this was going to be... Ryan will have a new surprise opponent on day 1. But we will read it off. The community voted overwhelmingly for Randy to win here. 83%. So, Devlin, yes, keeping track. Devlin, if you want to read off Randy's list, and then, David, if you want to read off Ryan's list, and then Travis, tell us how Magoo would have beaten Randy, other than just forcing him to miss the event.
Alcohol poisoning?
Yes.
I mean, it's obvious. He won.
All right. If I was Randy and I was a real boy, what I would take would be Forces of the Abyss. So, in this fictional world where I exist as a real person, I would take 2 regiments of flame bearers with sacrificial imps, 1 horde of abyssal berserkers with Blood of the Old King and sacrificial imps, 2 hordes of Molochs who don't get sacrificial imps, but they do get Despoiler Champions, which are bullshit. 1 with Sir Jesse's Boots of Striding, 1 with Blade of Slashing. 1, 2, 3 regiments of Tortured Souls, an Abyssal Fiend, a Seductress as she comes stock, which is with Gnome Glass Shield and knowledgeable to give her Host Shadow Beast 3. A Warlock with Bane Chant, Zazuzu the Betrayer as he comes, and the Manifestation of Baal for a total of 14 fictitious drops and 24.5 fictitious unit strength.
I feel like Steve Forster wrote that list. It's almost exactly Steve's list.
I believe it. It's a solid Abyssal list.
So
All right.
Magoo is bringing Northern Alliance. He's got 2 hordes of Snow Trolls, a horde of Frost Fangs with Tundra Fighters and Brew of Sharpness, 2 regiments of Snow Foxes, not 1, but 3 Frost Giants, all with Cleavers, an Ice Queen with the Shroud of the Saint, so heal 7, Purim, as you do, and a Lord on Chimera with the Meat of Madness. So 4 Giants and a Chimera. That is some strong punch.
Seeing that the Chimera's name is Jesus, if it's not like a Christian statue he puts on the table on a 75 mil base, I'm going to be really disappointed in you, Magoo. Bonus points if it's the Buddy Christ.
It looks like he's trying to play a list that he could remember how to play on the table. That's what it looks like to me.
100%.
Yep.
Magoo's army, yep.
What is this? Is this a giant? No, it's a flying giant. Okay, cool. I got it.
Yep.
How many attacks do I have? I just know I roll a d6 with it.
The
Sometimes
only
it's two.
downside is he'll have
Be
to
lucky.
enjoy his game against a new opponent this time.
That still
he'll
would be the drunkest table.
yes. Probably.
Probably.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Table 20, we've got BJ Williams, who I keep in my head just calling BJ Blazkowicz like every single time I read his name. I know that's not what it is, but just you're being associated with Wolfenstein for the rest of your life. And then Hank Googe for prettiest table. I don't know what he's bringing out of the closet, but by the look of it, it looks like penguins. David, if you want to read BJ's list, and then Travis, if you'd like to read Hank's list. Then Luke can tell us how BJ beats a painter.
All right, so BJ is running halflings with a ranger. He's got braves, a horde of them. Stalwarts, 2 regiments, both with 2-handed weapons. Forest troll gunners, 2 hordes of them with the Pendle gun. Juggers, a regiment of them. The Wild Lancers Regiment. Wild Runners, 2 troops of them with black powdered weapons. Aeronauts, 2 regiments of those. He's got a mustard captain on mount with the sure-footed captain mace of crushing. And then he's got another captain mounted with the blade of slashing. 2 saucers, one with the sacred horn and one with the inspiring talisman. And a thing of greedy guts. For 17 drops and 27.5 unit strength.
All right. Hank is rolling with Varinger. He's taking the Ranger. He's got 3 regiments of Jogger, Horde of Fallen with Brew of Haste, 2 hordes of Snow Trolls, one with Chalice of Wrath with the Dwarven Ale, a regiment of Mounted Sons with the Boots of Striding, a regiment of Horse Raiders with Short Bows, a regiment of Tundra Wolves, a Magus with Lightning Bolt 4, Bane Chant 2, Drain Life 6, a Lord on Frostfang with Blade of Slashing, Krufnir, and a Lord on Chimera with just the Icy Breath 10, and then that's 13 units and 27 unit strength.
Cool.
I think
Luke,
just on
BJ,
just on the balance of the lists.
Yeah. BJ's in the chat, and it's his 3rd game of Kings of War.
Oh.
So you got to coach him hard. Coach him hard.
I was about to say that I think the matchup list-wise is more favorable to BJ here. So it just depends on how he plays it out, I guess. So obviously he's going all in on Ravenous and Relentless. There's a lot of given that he's apparently not that an experienced player, it's great that he's got that crutch of that Strider aura, because terrain positioning doesn't make much of a difference to him. And then with the Aeronauts, obviously, always banging on 4s as well. Doesn't really have to worry about terrain. He's also got the most shooting in the matchup, so he can try and plink some wounds off, and then obviously use Relentless to go in and help finish the job. That's likely his aim. Spread shots out probably instead of focus firing something down, would be my guess. The real key to watch out for, like obviously leaving the Snow Trolls till last until you can get a flank on them, rather than trying to punch them in the face, is going to be key. And then the real wild cards, I think, are the Fallen with the extra speed up to 9 with Nimble and Pathfinder, and that Lord on Chimera. I think Hank's probably going to try and dictate the game with those 2 units in particular, and also the regiment of Tundra Wolves as well. So he's got that bit of a pip of speed. So BJ can do things like pushing Aeronauts up to zone out the terrain that those units are likely going to want to go and sit in, smacked by some zone those couple of fast dictating units out of where they want to be, and particularly, BJ. This comes with experience, but make sure that he can't double up on your flank and turn in out of your charge arcs and then get flanks down your lines. That's going to be the probably the number one thing to watch out for. Try and make sure that everything's always coming in your face. Phrasing.
Phrasing. Yeah, it'll be a fun game though. Hank's a good player, and he will teach you things. And don't get distracted by how pretty his army is.
But I don't think Hank's been playing a lot lately since he got
No,
married,
he's not.
So he's probably washed. So this should be nice. 3 games versus Hank's not playing games. You guys are probably even keeled.
And he'll be drunk off his ass anyways.
I hope.
He usually
deserves
waits till
it.
game 3 for that. He's not an early drinker like some of us, but we
He's
can
married
force
now. It's different.
Oh, this
Gotta
is
escape.
this is a rigged freaking response if ever I've seen one. I call bull on this. Table 21, a 90% response for Dustin Howard. I feel like they practically drew at Alamo last time I checked, and before that it was like a smidge loss to Dustin before that. So like this is I don't agree with these survey results. Travis, if I can get you to read Dustin's list here, and Luke, if I can get you to read Justin's list here, those two names not, of course, going to be confusing at all, separated by one letter of the alphabet. Dustin is running dwarves, or dwarfs specifically, and Justin is running ogres.
All right. Dustin's taking the Ranger. He's got 4 Iron Guard regiments with throwing mastiffs. He's got a horde of shield breakers, sorry. He's got 3 troops of sharpshooters. He's got a flame belcher, a Golix Fury steel behemoth, a dwarf stone priest with the periscope, and took knowledgeable ones so that we could get restoration. Garrett Heavy Hand, 2 Steel Juggernauts, and Faber Ironheart for 15 units and 23 unit strength.
Taking the Ranger, of course, yeah.
Yes, the Ranger.
Yeah,
Both
Ranger.
of them are. So Justin's got a bit more of a standard Merc list this time. So he's got the Ranger as well. Then there's 3 regiments and 3 hordes of warriors. One of the wards has Crocodog, 2-handed weapons, and Blood of the Old King. One of the hordes has Crocodog and Strider Boots. And the other horde has Crocodog and Fire Oil. Don't see the Crocodog taken too much, so that's, interesting to see. We've got a big deal, then a giant with cleaver, a sergeant with paymaster and heavy crossbow, 3 warlocks, all with lightning bolt and drain life. No other items on any of those. We got Nom Nom and Kuzlo and Madfall, which is pretty cool. He's got a total of 14 or 15 with the Ranger and 24 unit strength.
I'm having to remember what Crocodog does.
That's your reroll 3 hits in melee, right?
It's vicious it's elite. Is it vicious or elite? Hold on. Roll to hit. So it's elite for 3 ones,
3, yeah.
which on average with 18 dice is about right anyway. So it's elite. It's discounted elite.
Once
Cool.
off.
Devlin, how does Justin Robbins beat Dustin Howard? Can't get him to drink, so you can write that off.
Yeah. It's hard. This list is bullshit. I played it at Alamo and it made me cry. The good news is Justin's not playing me because Justin forgets how to do basic arithmetic when he's playing me and just pulls his pants down and just takes stupid charges. So he's got that going for him. The hordes are interesting, but the problem is everything in Dustin's list shoots at least once. and it's gross shooting. Like, all the hand cannons, although they're on 5s, are Pierce 2. Garrick's made of bullshit. The Steel Behemoth's annoying. Sharpshooter, I hate it here. Try to play the scenario better. Maybe, I mean, he can shield the hordes for a little bit with the regiments for like a turn to try to get the hordes just to yeet themselves into combat like as fast as possible. That's probably the main thing, but then you gotta watch out. Like, he's got the punch, I think, to get through Dustin's stuff, but can he make it there with enough is really the thing. So just yeet and pray, my guy. Hope for a bad dice roll in the shooting phase, and maybe you can close in and get an extra turn out of some of your chaff. So that's how you do it.
Yeah, after seeing the list, I see why people maybe voted for Dustin over Justin a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having been diddled by both of these people at a tournament, Dustin diddled me way harder and didn't cuddle afterwards.
Fair. All right, glad I marked this stream as not for children. If you're a child, turn your eyes away. Speaking of which, we've got Aaron Chapman versus Evan Hoy. I didn't know Rick had 2 kids, or 2 that played Kings of War at least. This means, let me do my check-in here. Luke, if you will read off Aaron's list, and then Devlin, if you'll read off Evan's list, and then David, if you will tell us how Evan Hoy beats Aaron Chapman.
All right, so Aaron has Northern Alliance. I don't think it specifies which character.
It does not. Sometimes they did not specify, and I did not mark it because I'm not going to track down 12 people who did put down what their character was.
So Aaron has a special character. Then he's got some Ice Knights. So there's 2 hordes of Ice Naiads, both with Tundra Fighters and Spears. So they've got Phalanx and Ensnare, which is infuriating. There's Brew of Strength on one, and the required Hammer of Measured Force on the other, which gives some of my units Def 4 when they should have been 3, but that's another story for another time. So then we've got a horde of tribesmen. So 3 big infantry hordes are going to spread out across the field. They have nothing, not even Tundra Fighters on that one. There's a horde of Frostfang Cav with Brew of Sharpness. A horde of Frostclaws with the Ice Bombs and Sir Jesse's Boots. 2 regiments Snow Foxes. A giant with the Cleaver. 2 Ice Queens. 1 with Conjurer's Staff, Heal and Bane Chant. The other one with Sacred Horn, Heal and Veil. And the last one is Trim. Standard. Polyphemus is the name he's given that, I guess. Hellenic League Northern Alliance has got some cool names on all those units, and that's good to see. That's 11 drops plus the special character and 24 unit strength.
I'm wondering if he's running John Green's Spartans for some of these
That's
units.
what I'm thinking.
That's my suspicion.
100%.
But go ahead and Devlin and tell us what is Evan bringing.
One of the younger Hoys is bringing the Ranger. He's running dwarves. He has 2 regiments of Iron Guard, both with Throwing Mastiff, 1 with Warbow. Haven't seen that in a minute. 2 hordes of Bulwarkers with Throwing Mastiffs. 1, 2, 3 Sharpshooters. 2 Organ Guns. A Cannon. A Flame Belcher, so he's collecting all the war engines. 2 Steel Behemoths, 1 of them has been upgraded to be Gallic himself. A Warsmith with the Sacred Horn to give a lot of elite range to all those war engines. And Faber Ironheart because he is a duty head. With the Ranger, that's a lot of shooting. That makes it 16 drops and 23.5 unit strength.
If I had to wager I'm betting Aaron's taking the wolf. That would be my guess, based just on his list composition.
Yeah.
I
I would
have
hope
no
so.
way to prove that. Yeah.
It seems like an Aaron thing.
David, how does Evan, who I don't know that I've met Evan. I think I've met
Evan usually
Rogan.
plays the ringer at Bayou.
That's why.
He's a good kid. I like him a lot. Very talkative.
As kids are.
He has a lot of shooting, and if he buckles down and shoots quite a bit and rolls well, he could possibly win. But it depends on the scenario. And Aaron has the knowledge and know-how to get across the board.
Who's the superior white? Don't tell Rick or Rogan. Yeah, I was just thinking, it's like, I played Aaron when I was like yay tall, so like I figure you just annoy him enough if you're a small child, and he'll just make mistakes, and that'll put him on tilt, and that's how you beat Aaron that way.
Yeah, Aaron's got the regen and heal to sort of weather a lot of that shooting if he can force them to be split up. So I don't think he cares too much about it all.
I do like his list. I wouldn't want to play it, but I do like his list.
Needs more trolls.
Yeah. Alrighty, table 23, and then I want to say that that's we have like a kind of sort of table 24, but this is basically our last one for tonight. Get those rolling. We have Tristan with Empire of Dust versus Tyler Schultz with Ratkin. It'll be good to see Tyler. Devlin, if I can get you to read Tristan's list as an Empire of Dust list, and David, if I can get you to read Tyler's list as a Ratkin list, and then Travis, I don't know which one you hate more. I'm going to assume Empire of Dust over Ratkin, so I'm going to make you tell us why the Ratkin list deserves to win.
All right, I'll start with Tristan. It does not specify if he's taking the dog, but judging by his list, I would say he's probably taking the wolf.
Chat is saying Ranger.
Oh, he's taking the Ranger. Okay, interesting. But it'll give him enough blink shooting to handle chaff, so it's not bad. Especially with the Casket of Souls, the Schnell Snare. But he's starting off a standard Empire of Dust list. He's got the Regiment of Skeleton Spearmen with the Orb of Towering Presence for that juicy 110-point unit strength 4. And then he's got a second regiment with Casket of the Damned to say, hey, is there a loot token? Come charge me, I hate you. Then he's got two mummy troops, 1, 2, 3 mummy regiments, and they all have Caskets of the Damned, so they want to be on the 22-inch line to start the game. He's got a horde of enslaved guardians with J-boots as they come. The Schnell Snare, a bone giant with the giant cleaver, the monolith as you do, a standard bearer with the Tome of Darkness and the Aura Strider for all those mummies as you do. Sebek Ray of the Accursed for a little bit of heal surge double tap action every turn. And then the Idol of Shobik to make sure those mummies never die with the heal and Iron Resolve aura, plus he's just a bastard himself. With the Ranger, that is 15 drops and 26.5 unit strength.
All right, so Tyler, as his list is titled, says Tanks Again. He's got 3 hordes of spear warriors, a regiment of Vermintide, 1 troop of tunnel runners with skirmishing boots, give that nimble. He's got 2 regiments of tunnel runners with the one with the brew of sharpness, one with the Jesse's boots. He has a 2 Death Engine Spewers. He's got 3 Death Engine Impalers and 2 Swarm Callers. Both of them are mounted. One's got the Sacred Horn, and the other one has the Loot of Insatiable Darkness for Banechant 2. He's got, I think I said he was taking the Ranger, so he's got 15 drops and 23.5 unit strength.
Tyler for the win.
Nifty. Sorry?
Tyler for the win.
Tyler for the win.
Tyler for the win.
This is definitely
Yes.
a unique Ratkin list. I don't think I've seen this many Death Engines ever.
No.
Yeah, he
You
loves
just watch
cherry
me
mazes.
doing tunnel runners, so
And I do like the Tunnel Runners. I do like the Tunnel Runners a lot. I do really like the Tunnel Runner Skirmisher boots.
yeah.
The thing is, he has the punch to get through those mummies in one
He
shot.
does.
Like,
That's what I'm talking about.
this is.
Yeah.
I think the Mountain Messiah can do something with this list. I think Tristan's got to be on his A game because I think it's a lot harder than it looks.
I mean, those
I think
Death
this
Engine
rat can be
Spewers, I
game.
mean, they're crush 1 and they come in too, so a
Yeah.
little shooting and then they get in combat. I mean, they're all mini giants.
Mhm. They're all going to be
So-
elite from the Swarm
And
Criers.
then they're elite. Yeah.
I do still.
He's cooking.
Yeah. I do still think it's going to come down to can he get enough like double charges with Impalers? Like, mummies are so hard to take out.
Oh, they are. And if they don't die, they freaking
Yeah. But
never die after that.
But if ever there was
he
a
can
list
fit
to.
enough stuff in.
Yeah. If there ever was a list to try and make Death Engine Impalers work against, this is probably one of them. That's a lot of Rampage where you want it.
I mean, he can
Tristan
pair
has
them
to-
off.
Yeah,
Go
Tristan
ahead.
has to worry about how he blocks the doubles as well because the Death Engine's being quite small. You might think that you're blocking it the double charge, from this one over here. But if you stagger them out, then you can just change and cross over to different targets. So he's got to really consider like crossover charges when trying to deny the doubles, because it's really hard to stop those getting in with something if they're on the right side.
Yep.
They're getting in.
Yeah, one
They can
Tunnel
in.
Runner and one Death Engine
They
Spear
are
will one shot
getting
most
in.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the
I
other
mean,
thing is
even-
you might not
even-
need
even the
both.
Apple doesn't want
Yeah.
to get double charge. Like, everything's Crush 2 or Thunder 1, Crush 1. Like,
Also all elite. That's
and with Elite, Idol doesn't want to see that.
yeah.
No.
Those Tunnel Runners are mean.
Like, normally you
Yeah.
just shove the Shobik up there and he doesn't care, but against this, he kind of might
No.
care.
Shobik's not going to have a good time.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, man. Like, and honestly, there's not enough punch back from the EOD if they don't get a flank or something.
Yeah.
And Rats, what do they do well? They cover their flanks. They have those hordes. They have the route. I mean,
It'll be
it's gonna
interesting.
be tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he doesn't break something on the charge though, Tyler is in trouble. Like,
Yeah,
plain and
yes.
simple.
Because if he gets
Like-
ground, yeah, I do think that they start grinding.
He can
Once-
even use things like spewers to protect flanks as well. Just put them in combat to stop those flank surges.
Yeah.
When he's got the Vermintide, he's got. I mean, the hordes of warriors will be on the flanks holding it down. I mean, it's
It's cool. I like it.
his. The problem with this list that I've always found is your reforms after the chariots kill something
They're awful. They're
is
constantly
awful.
I guess my question is why do you get so
That's
few
the fun
votes?
part.
Just back up and pray it's in the
You
front.
back up, you sidestep, you just say, well,
Right.
that's what I've learned running tunnel runners only. Hey, the Australians hated it. They never invited me back to another tournament. Ratkin slaves, baby. Tunnel runners only.
I
like
honestly
that. I like
still
that
think that list is better than the Ratkin version of it.
If you're doing an Alpha Strike Tunnel Runner list for sure, Slaves is the way to go.
It's gross. Vermintide in front.
Yep.
People
The
don't like
Gryzo
me
as
for
well.
it. Yep. Oh, yeah.
All right.
It's a lot of fun. You don't ever see it, but
We don't have a table 24. Technically, this would have been Brian versus a ringer. which is why it's a faction, a lone wolf character, a list. However, we do at least have 2 additional participants that jumped in kind of late at the last the Hail Mary hour. So we at least read off their lists, even if they won't be necessarily playing each other. And we can all potentially throw up a little inside. I don't actually know how nasty either of these lists are. But we have George O'Connell's list. And then we have Brian's list. Travis, if you'd like to read Brian's off. His should actually... Oh, no, I didn't link it. Dang. Okay.
It's not linked, yeah.
Cool. I will just read both of their lists off real quick. It gives me a chance to...
I have George's list
do
because
something.
he posted it on one of
I could go,
the threads. But
Yeah, that's fair. George also just announced his list to the world to make sure that everyone knew what he was bringing ahead of time. After everyone else posted what their list was. But Brian is bringing Order of the Green Lady. He's bringing a little bit of a mixed bag Order of the Green Lady. It's 4 regiments of Order of the Thorn. So those are the Phalanx Spear Foot Troops with defense 5 and melee 3.
Seen them before.
They were way too expensive before the Phalanx got corrected for. Now they are significantly cheaper. They all have Vial of Sacred Water. They're Foot Knights with Phalanx. That's what they are. They're kind of funky. He has 2 regiments of Water Elementals, 1 horde of Water Elementals. He's got 1 Order of Redemption regiment with Brew of Sharpness for melee 2. 1 Order of Forsaken horde with Vial of Sacred Water and Brew of Strength. A Greater Water Elemental. A Devoted with Radiance of Life for the Sacred Water. Bane Chant 2 and Surge 7. A Druid with Knowledgeable, Conjurer's Staff, Surge 4, and Wither and Perish. This is the second time I've seen that in a list today, which is bizarre. Exemplar Redeemer with Winged Unicorn, bringing it to a total of 13 drops and 27 unit strength. If I had to guess, he's running the Wolf, because everything else, he has no shooting otherwise.
Yep.
Unless he wants to bring the Ranger for plank shooting. I mean, that's always an option.
I don't understand why he wouldn't be bringing the formation.
With that many Water Elementals, I am a little surprised not to see that.
He's got the 2 regiments instead of a second horde, but other than that, he's got the formation, and the Devoted comes with Inspiring as part of that as well, plus the Thunder. The Thunder aura is incredible, right? Mm-hmm. On those Water Elementals. So, and also at that point, he's got that anyway. Never mind. But yeah, like he loses a drop, gains a lot of utility, and can probably squeeze out points for like a Pegasus for another drop somewhere, as well.
Would be what he's got modeled.
Maybe that Redeemer because he's very expensive.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, 200 points for Redeemer is pricey.
I think you can go he could go the formation, and you win back a few points by combining those 2 regiments into a horde. Then drop the Redeemer for something cheaper and possibly fit 2 pegs in at that point. So going up to 14 drops with 2 flying chaff pieces, a much punchier formation, and an Inspirer that you don't cry when you lose him because he's 205 points.
Yeah, he does have 7 attacks, but he's kind of a Vampire Lord in a time at like the. He doesn't even have duelist.
Yeah.
He's very odd.
Like, what you can get for his points is also pretty good.
Yeah, if he had duelist.
Green Lady. In fact, that's what he could drop him to Green Lady, and then for the heal shenanigans and Cloak of Death, and then make the formation out of the Water Elementals, and then gain a Pegasus.
How many points is Green Lady these days?
150.
Oh, that is a pretty big point savings. George is running 2 crossbow regiments, both upgraded to rifles, and a crossbow horde that has been upgraded to rifles. So it's 2 rifleman regiments and a rifleman horde. The rifleman horde has Vicious. Yes, Vicious. 3 beast cav hordes, all with flying, all with Vicious. all with Indomitable Will. One of them has Sharpness. One of them has Elite. The third one has Sir Jesse's Boots. 3 heroes on Pegasuses, all with Indomitable Will for Chaff, and 3 generals on Winged Beasts to round it out for 12 units and 22 unit strength. Honestly, not as filthy as I think it could have been for Flying Circus Kingdoms of Men.
Does not want to see those Order of the Thorn.
No, does not. But I don't.
It
But he
should
doesn't
have.
have to play this list, so you know. The Order of the
Oh,
Thorn
that's
are
fair,
surprisingly tanky because they're defense 5 spearmen. So
Melee 3
The
defense.
workers with legs.
yeah, the melee 3 is kind of I mean, it's still nice.
10,
Um,
that's 10, it's 10 hits.
Yeah, 10 hits is not nothing if you have Bane Champ behind it. As someone who loves shock troops, they're definitely not bad. But yeah, we'll have to see how these two play in their associated matchups. Excuse me. All right. Writing us out, we had 31 responses for who do we think was going to be best general. We had 31 responses for everything. I appreciate everyone actually responding to every question who actually responded to the survey in the first place. Dustin Howard took it away with 13 picks. Usually a pretty safe bet. Following Dustin, we had a tie between Jeff Radigan and Jordan Braun. And then following that, we had Tom Annis with 3. So everyone thinks that Best Sportsman guy has still got it. At least in some capacity. And then we get into vote shares that are so small that I'm not checking. In terms of most interesting list, we had a much bigger divide. We had Jeff Radigan with 5, which I don't really know that I'd call that the most interesting, but I guess people thought it was interesting.
Most disgusting.
Yeah, most vomit-inducing, potentially, but I don't know about interesting. We had Chuck Williams with his Night Stalkers, which that was the one with all the Wind Blast and the Soul Flayers, if I recall.
Yeah.
Then we had John Green's Undead Troll list, which, again, that's a list that I think has been viable for a long time. It's just no one runs it.
He doesn't have the Vicious Aura.
He does have the Vicious Aura. I 100% guarantee you he has the Vicious Aura in that. If he doesn't, then he's...
No. I don't
There's
think
no
he took the-
way. There's no way he forgot to bring the Vicious Aura with that
That's
many...
like the whole reason you take that list.
I was about to say...
The twos go wild.
You're kidding me if that was actually missed. Holy shit, it was actually missed. Okay, well, in that case, rate that list a lot lower than it did before. You want the Vicious Aura. You need the Vicious Aura. Those trolls without Vicious, what are they doing?
Pop-Pop's Alzheimer's kicked in there.
That's, yep. I feel like that's got to be a misclick. Replace that Mind Fog especially. Replace that Mind Fog with Vicious. I think it's only like 10 points or 15 points. cheap.
It's 15 or 20. It's not expensive. Like,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
get it real easy.
In terms of matchups, so to round us out, at least in terms of things that I want to talk about, what got voted highest? Dustin versus Justin. Okay, so people still want to see the game, even if they think Justin's going to get creamed in it, apparently. And then Dan versus Pat. That would also be a good one to watch for Table 1. I might veto that and put them on Table 1. While we will have a table to stream at Lonewolf, fingers crossed, one way or another, barring my inability to transport stuff, but I have a backup in case Zach has to drop at the last second. Fingers crossed I will be able to bring the equipment to stream a table. It will only be one table, and I will not be commenting it, because I'll be playing. So my plan is to set up the table, try to give it a quick sound check to make sure it's running and working and not gonna fall apart without me attending it, and then have the overhead camera's mic pick up so that you can hear players at least softly, and then have the ability for a Discord open similar to this one where anyone, Luke or otherwise, can just jump in and it will automatically add them and it will automatically look pretty on the stream so you don't have to worry about what it looks like. That is my hope, but it will be ultimately up to people if they want to jump in for commentary, but that's how we'll make it work. So there may be no commentary, but at least you'll still get to watch a game. You can imagine it. But other than that, who are other ones? Devlin Smith versus Justin May. I also think that would be a good matchup, at least for the challenge. And then Garrett versus Tom would. Man, the people at least picking the good matchups. I do like that.
Yeah, mine you'd at least to watch my slow descent to madness as I roll more snake eyes and get more animated on the cam as I just slowly lose my last like 2 wits of sanity.
Right.
Anytime.
Cool. Which ones did y'all enjoy the most?
I think I voted, I think, for the Pat Dan one because I think that's going to be a solid game. The other one is, what was it? Yeah, the Dustin Justin one's going to be just good, clean fun. And then in chat, somebody said, the Pop and Richard, those are all good shouts. Oh, the Garrett Tom one is going to be very solid.
Yeah, that will also be. Yeah, there were a lot of good matchups.
Yeah, I think a match where it's like almost the closest skill between the two generals on that, and so they're all very solid lists. Obviously, Dustin's is absolutely disgusting, but Justin knows how to pilot those ogres really well, so it'll be a good game regardless.
Fun times. What about you, David?
Well, I really wanted to watch that Dan Zuro. I think that's going to be a good, clean, fun game, and they will enjoy themselves. I don't think anything nasty about either player, and Zoro coming back into the field would be fun.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. The Justin and Dustin over here just like no one wants our game. It's like no, this would be a great game. All of these games that people voted on would be great games. Travis, what are you thinking?
I picked you so you can commentate your game while you play it.
Har. Luke, I don't know if you responded to the survey, but which one of these that you've seen so far would you be interested in?
I was here for the Devlin Justin, and I think that would be a good one to watch. And then just had a quick scan back and found my man Dan versus Patrick, and I think that'd be a great game as well.
Dan.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Dan.
Dan, and he's left.
Oh, Dan's
God
there.
dang it, Dan's out.
Camera, you have to go over there.
Way
Oh,
to
no,
the-
my God!
Come in closer; they can't see your face.
There you go.
Yeah, he exists. He's a
Yeah,
real
We
boy.
only need his bottom half anyways. Nobody cares about his face.
Cool. Well, I won't keep anybody here for much longer. Again, we'll try to get that stream set up for Saturday. If it's your first, I guess a few comments from me just about this Lone Wolf in general. It's a smaller crowd than we usually see. I think that was just due to timing of events and other stuff and cost of travel and blah blah blah. Not really worried about it. Most people are missing are people who like are still in the game. They just aren't here this year. And the contrary to that, and I said it's my spin, and I'm continuing to call it spin, but it is what it is. We have a lot of new people this year, as far as I can tell, which is great. I think that's healthy for the game. It's going to be a tough room. I'm not going to lie and sugarcoat it for the new people out there who may watch this. Texas is very competitive, and most of the people here are really good. So prepare to learn stuff as you have to play Dustin Howard and pick up all your units. We've all done it, so now it's your turn. Yeah. It'll also be on a personal note. It'll also be good to get out to Lonewolf and actually play this year for the first time in like 2-3 years. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there, and we'll see everyone at Lonewolf.
So just want
Bye-bye.
to shout out Ryan Smith. His birthday is next week, so tell him happy birthday this weekend.
There you go. We'll end on that. Happy birthday, Ryan. Make sure YouTube goes first.